I'm H-A-P-P-Y. I'm H-A-P-P-Y. I know I am, I'm sure I am. I'm H-A-P-P-Y.
I know I am, I'm sure I am. He's H-A-P-P-Y.
What you doing?
Writing?
I can see that. I'm not blind. What are you writing?
I'm not telling you.
All right, that's how you feel. As long as it's not poetry.
Why should it be poetry?
Because these drugs can have profound side effects. You get that faraway look in your eyes and you start doing some very strange things.
There's nothing strange about writing poetry, Figgis. It's an expression of man's finest feeling.
Not under drugs, it's not. You sit there thinking you're writing Paradise Lost, and when you look the next day, all you've got is Hickory Dickory Dock. Oh, but it is poetry. Oh, but it doesn't even rhyme.
It doesn't have to rhyme.
Of course it has to rhyme. It's not poetry if it doesn't rhyme.
Dylan Thomas's poetry didn't rhyme.
That's because he was on a bottle of scotch a day. His senses were clouded.
He wrote some very fine poetry.
It would have been even better if it had rhymed. Anyhow, I can't stand this modern poetry. I read a poem the other day about a sack of fertilizer. What a subject. How can you get poetic about a sack of fertilizer? What's yours about?
I'm not writing poetry.
I don't know why some people have to be so secretive about writing poetry. I mean, if you want to write a poem to your girlfriend, why shouldn't you? Better than a sack of fertilizer.
Fig, I am not writing a poem and I haven't got a girlfriend.
Don't give me that. You're always mooning about somebody.
Perhaps he's writing a poem to the iceberg.
Oh, you mean Nurse Bradley?
I'm not interested in Nurse Bradley.
I should think not. You need gloves and a blow lamp to deal with her. You can read us a couple of stanzas if you like. We'll tell you if you got the meter right.
Fig, for the last time, I am not writing poetry. As a matter of fact, it's a diary.
A diary? You mean dates, appointments, meetings, things like that?
Well, it's a little more than that.
Oh, it'd have to be. You're not going anywhere, are you? All you do is vegetate. A cabbage would have more to write about.
I am not a cabbage, Fig, and there's plenty to write about around here.
Oh, yes. You get up at 6, have your bed made, get back in it again, eat your breakfast, get out of bed, have a pill, get back into bed again, get the crumbs off your sheets, read a book, have your lunch, get up, get back into bed. Let's face it, you lead a totally uninteresting life.
It's not like that. It's about my thoughts and observations.
Of course it is. I understand, Norman. It's the reflection of your life in here and of the interesting characters that you've met.
Yes, that's right.
Wait a minute. You mean you're writing about us, things we've been saying, that sort of thing?
Well, yes, if it's of interest.
Oh. What have you said about me?
I can't tell you that. It's private.
Oh, no, it's private. Let me have a look.
Oh, certainly not. Now, I wish I hadn't told you.
I don't think I like this at all, Archie. Everything been taken down. It's an invasion of privacy. You could say anything.
But don't worry, Figgis. After all, nobody's going to see it. It's his personal diary.
But suppose it gets into the wrong hands. He could die one day and leave it behind. Suppose Hutchinsons get hold of it and publish. We could all be in the mire. I think we should read it.
Certainly not. And after all, a diary like that could make us famous. I mean, think of it. Our glittering conversation, the cut and thrust of our debate recorded for posterity. We could come out of it very well.
Not as well as he will. Don't forget he's writing it. He's bound to make himself look good. He'll show us warts and all.
Warts? I haven't got any warts. I've got a perfect skin.
Well, I'm going to read it.
You can't.
It's in our interests.
What's it say?
I'm just looking at his latest entry. G has been constantly preening himself this evening. Sometimes he reminds me of a magnificent peacock strutting around in his colourful dressing gown and displaying himself. It's not bad, is it?
Not bad, of all the dirty, underhand things to do.
Oh, he's really got you summed up here, Archie. He has just finished grooming his moustache, probably to remove minor particles of food that have lodged there. As usual, I found this habit quite distasteful.
What? Let me see. Habit quite distasteful.
What is it?
Oh, you should have read further. Listen to this. I must be careful about keeping this diary. He has been watching me again. His curiosity is one of his worst features, next to his garrulousness. No doubt he has strong opinions about keeping a diary. He has about everything else.
Oh, who's he talking about?
You, Figgis.
What? I can't believe it. He's always been so quiet and inoffensive.
Yes, but that was only on the surface. I always knew there was something weird underneath. Oh, good Lord. You should see what he's written about Thorpe.
What's that, Glover?
Oh, nothing, Doctor.
What are you doing by Norman's locker? What are you reading?
Just a diary, Doctor.
May I see it? This is a private document. You shouldn't be reading this, Glover. Put it back where it belongs.
There's something about you on the 6th.
What?
Probably libelous.
What are you talking about? Let me see. T came in today, a decent chap, but obviously highly strung. Hides his lack of confidence by singing snatches of Gilbert and Sullivan. My own operation seems to have gone all right, fortunately. I can't say the same for Figgis. He may well have grounds for litigation. Gupta, this is serious. The boy appears to be rambling.
Yes, indeed, Mr. Thorpe. Is there anything about me?
About you? Well, yes, there is a mention.
Let me see. Gupta, on the other hand, hides a kind and sympathetic nature under his brusque manner. He is the only one I've met here who has a genuine feeling for medicine. But oh, that walk. What walk?
Now that's personal, talking about his walk.
What walk?
Yes, he might have left his walk out of it.
What walk?
Oh, this walk!
I don't walk like that, Mr. Thorpe.
Of course you don't, Gupta. I told you he's rambling. Now, look, we'll say no more about this. We'll put it back where it belongs and we'll behave perfectly naturally. Could I have a word, Gupta? 3 little maids who were all unwary. What's the matter with those two?
Nothing. Why should there be?
Peacock, indeed. I'll give him Peacock, the little creep.
Stop it, Archie.
Stop what?
You're doing it again.
Doing what?
Grooming your moustache.
What are you whispering about?
Nothing. Why? You curious? You want to watch that? You know, curiosity can be a vice if it's not controlled.
I just thought you were talking, that's all.
Me? No, I don't have to talk all the time. I do have moments of repose. I can sit and regard life in silent contemplation. And you can put that in your bleeding diary. Hey! The iceberg's just come on duty.
Oh, I shouldn't worry, Figgis. I saw definite signs of a thaw yesterday. There was a smile hovering around those granite lips. Good evening, Nurse Bradley.
Is it, Mr. Glover?
It is now. The whole ward is lit up with your gaiety and laughter.
Why do you make such a mess of your bed? This is the untidiest ward in a hospital. Men.
I know what you prefer, nurse. 3 dummies from Montague Burton's. Just think of it. No mess, no beds to make, all just lying there in a straight line.
It would certainly be an improvement, Mr. Figgis.
Well, I think a dummy from Montague Burton's would get more response than I'm getting at the moment.
You mean because I don't succumb to your well-worn charm, Mr. Glover?
Well worn.
Did you hear that, Archie? That little scene will be coming out in Morocco leather in 6 months' time.
Do you think so, Figgis? What is it he's writing?
Nurse Bradley met my eyes again, and I noticed the colour come to her cheek, and she looked away. I think she remembers last night. Her hands trembled as she smoothed the sheets. One must be careful. The others are watching. Who'd have thought that she could have revealed such depths?
Norman,
What?
could you give me a hand with the flowers?
Yes, certainly, nurse.
Quick, Archie, now's your chance. Grab that diary. I'll keep Norman out of the way.
Hey, wait a minute. Why don't you grab it?
Because he suspects me already. Don't forget, and he's got me down as curious.
Yes, and garrulous.
Never mind the garrulous. Get that diary.
Yesterday, it happened, just as I knew it would. Poor Glover was trying to draw attention to himself again, but she only had eyes for me.
Oh, come on, nurse. Give me a kiss. There's nobody about. Oh, come on. Give me a kiss and I'll help you with the beds. Come on, pucker up. Give yourself a treat.
Please don't make a nuisance of yourself, Mr. Glover, and let go of my wrist.
You heard what the lady said.
What?
Can't you see that your attentions aren't welcome?
Thank you, Norman.
That's all right. He doesn't really mean any harm. I think the poor devil's lonely.
You're very understanding. That's the first thing I noticed about you.
Was he very handsome?
Who?
The man who did this to you, who made you feel so bitter.
You're very shrewd for one so young.
You've been hurt, I can see. But all men aren't like that.
Oh, please, don't touch me.
Why not? You're very beautiful, and I don't even know your name, just Nurse Bradley.
Jocasta.
Jocasta.
No, Norman, it's too late. I'm so dreadfully worried I shall make a fool of myself and fall in love with you.
Would that be such a terrible thing? It's not foolish to love, Jocasta.
How did you know? How did I give myself away?
Last night, when I slept, did I feel your hair brush my cheek? Or was that just a dream?
I couldn't help myself. You look so handsome when you're asleep. Oh, my God. What am I getting myself into? Excuse me.
Norman, I'm sorry about that. I might have known that she would have preferred you. But how do you do it? If only I had your technique.
There's no technique, no tricks, Archie. Can I give you some advice? You've got to feel things more. There has to be honesty in a relationship. Loving is giving, not taking.
Yes. I'd never thought of it like that. You're right. What an elaborate charade my life has become. No, it's true. And when I meet someone like you who has this natural simplicity, I realize that. I realize what an empty farce my life has become. What went wrong, Norman?
Archie, when we get out of here, do you mind if I come and visit you?
Oh, would you? Would you really?
Of course.
And bring some girls?
We'll see.
Oh, thank you, Norman.
What's the matter, Archie?
Natural simplicity. You've got about as much natural simplicity as a bent corkscrew.
I know I am, I'm sure I am. I'm H-A-P-P-Y. I know I am, I'm sure I am. H-A-P-P-Y.
Archie, he's asleep. Come on, let's get that diary.
What? You don't mean just steal it?
I'm not suggesting we steal it. I suggest we take it away, read it, remove the offensive and libelous passages, and return the binding. Now, come on. Where's he put it?
It's under his pillow.
Right. I'll go this side. You go that. I've got it.
Figgis, blimey. This is going to take a bit of explaining if he wakes up. What am I going to do? Stick with him, Archie. I think he likes your aftershave. Don't let him feel your moustache, for God's sake. You'll frighten the life out of him. Well, are you coming or are you getting to like it?
What are we going to do?
Read it, of course.
Well, that could take us all night.
Never mind. We'll start at the beginning. You remember how nervous he was when he first came in here?
Arrived in hospital on the 14th. Found myself sharing a room with two extremely nervous patients, whom I instantly took in hand.
Hello. You're new here, aren't you?
Yes, I came in today.
Welcome to Jack the Ripper ward.
You don't recommend it.
I should think not. There's not many get out of here. Do you want to see something horrible?
What?
Do you want to see something really horrible?
If you like.
What about that, then? When they promised me keyhole surgery.
I've seen worse.
Where?
The guards.
Oh, should suit you in here, then. The discipline's rigid.
Whose bed is that?
Glover, I'm not speaking to him. We come from different sides of the fence. I should keep well away from him if I was you.
If you don't mind, I prefer to form my own opinions. The way I see it, we're all in the same boat.
He's not. He gets preferential treatment. It's amazing. 30 years of socialised medicine. You've only got to walk in here with a shooting stick and you're straight to the front of the queue. Oh, oranges. Oh, I should hang on to these. The food here is diabolical. I can't eat it.
Then why don't you complain?
Complain? It's more than your life's worth. You try complaining round here, you get a dull needle up your backside.
Well, I shall complain. Just because they've taken our clothes, it doesn't mean they've taken our identity. You've got to hang on to your individuality in a place like this.
I never thought of it like that. I suppose you're right. What's your name?
Norman. Norman Binns.
Mine's Figgis. I'm pleased to meet you, Norman.
Hello. You must be the new boy. My name's Glover. Archie Glover.
Norman Binns.
Have they told you about the bed?
The bed?
It was promised to me.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. They said I could have it so I could see the daffodils. It was promised.
We all want to see the bleeding daffodils, mate. Why should you have it?
Because they know how much it means to me. One last spring, is it too much to ask?
You're wasting your time, Glover. You won't swallow all this so much to do so little time rubbish.
It was promised.
That's all right, Archie. You can have the bed.
Can I, Norman? Can I really? Thank you. I'll just get my things.
Why did you do that?
Can't you see? He's near to breaking point. His nerve's gone. Besides, I can sleep anywhere. He needs that bed more than I do.
But he's a toff.
Perhaps he is. But remember, Figgis, from each according to his abilities, to each according to his needs.
You've read Marx.
Of course. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll go and find Sister.
Who did he say he was?
Norman. Norman Binns.
But it wasn't like that at all.
Of course it wasn't. He's living in a dream world.
What are you two doing up at this hour?
Sorry, Doctor. We couldn't sleep.
Good heavens, you're not reading that diary again. I told you that was Norman's private property.
But you don't know what he's been saying about us, Doctor.
I shouldn't worry about that, Figgis. Remember, what some father gifted years to see ourselves as others see us. Now get back to bed. I'll put that back where it belongs. Thank you, Figgis.
Tuesday the 15th. Today is the day of my operation. I can sense the tension in the ward. Figgis and Glover are watching me anxiously. Even Gupta is showing signs of frayed nerves. I think he's grown quite attached to me in the last 2 days. It's as if he's trying to tell me something.
What's the matter, Gupta? Something's wrong, isn't it?
I should have known I couldn't hide it from you, Norman. After all, you are no ordinary patient.
What is it, Gupta?
Stop. He's facing a crisis of confidence. I should not be saying this, Norman, but although I've only just met you, I've become deeply attached to you. Not just because you are fluent in Urdu, know India, and have bathed in the sacred Ganges, but because you are a patient one meets just once in a lifetime.
Thank you, Gupta. Now, you mentioned Thorpe.
He's been drinking again.
Poor devil.
Yes, he was a good surgeon once, but the strain of overwork has proved too much for him. And after yesterday's dreadful affair with Glover...
But he must look on the bright side, Gupta. The operation was a complete success.
But he was on the wrong man, Norman. He's made a terrible mistake. And he cannot forgive himself. Take my advice. Refuse the operation. He has the shakes.
Could I have a word with you, Norman?
Certainly, Doctor.
Alone?
Gupta. Humea Chodo.
Ji haan, Norman. My jaiga.
Now, I have something to say to you. After what happened yesterday, I'd quite understand if you prefer Mr. McGregor to do the operation.
After what happened yesterday, I don't understand. You removed Glover's appendix with absolute precision.
Absolute precision? Norman came in with chest pains. I wasn't even in the target area.
Everyone makes mistakes, Doctor. We're all human.
I just hope the medical council will see it like that. This could ruin me.
No. I've spoken to Glover, and as a personal favor to me, he's agreed not to press charges.
Oh, thank you, Norman. You saved me from a life of shame and ignominy. What could I say?
Nothing. Now we've got that little matter out of the way.
Should we get on with the operation?
My God, you're a cool one. But it's not just courage, Norman. I mean, suppose something should go wrong. They'd never forgive me. You're so popular. It's not just the brave stand you made against the food, but the brilliantly improvised repair of the life support system in casualty. No, it's more than that. I've come to respect you, not as a patient, but as a man. These hands won't stop shaking. I went out last night and tied one on. Look at them.
I'm looking at these hands. They're good hands, sensitive hands.
No, I wanted to be a concert pianist. Why did I choose surgery?
You didn't choose surgery. Surgery chose you. These are surgeons' hands.
Then why won't they stop shaking?
They will. Now, why don't you go and scrub up? You see, I don't want Mr. McGregor. I want you. You are the best, and I want the best.
Do you really mean that?
Yes.
Thank you, Norman. Wow! Look, my hands. They've stopped shaking.
Then, should we get started?
God bless you, Norman. Little monster.
May I help you, Mr. Thorpe?
I just found Norman's diary. I was going to replace it.
Oh, don't bother. I'll do that for you. After all, we don't want it to fall into the wrong hands, do we?
No, quite. Thank you, Staff. Excuse me.
Nurse B came to my bedside again last night. As I opened my eyes, her gaze met mine. A stray curl had escaped from her cap. Her cheeks were flushed and her breasts rose and fell. My first indication that she is a deeply emotional woman.
All right, you two. Where is it?
Where's what?
You know what I'm talking about. Where's my diary? You've been reading it, haven't
What
you?
if we have? That's not a diary, that's a work of fiction. Carried on like that, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Yes. What was his name again? Norman Binns. Oh, yes, Norman Binns. Saint, romantic lover, poet. The most unforgettable character I've ever met. It's been a privilege to know you.
But you don't understand. I started to keep a diary and it wasn't very interesting. You're right, Fig. I lead a dull and uninteresting life. I was just trying to make it a bit more exciting.
Oh, it's going to be more exciting, don't you worry. You know who's got that diary now? Thorpe. It'll be all over the hospital. Everybody's going to know what a rogue you are. You'll wish you'd never put pen to paper.
He'll show it to Nurse Bradley.
What?
I wouldn't be in your shoes if she finds out.
They don't call her the iceberg for nothing. You remember what an iceberg did to the Titanic? It ripped its guts out.
If I were you, Norman, I'd destroy that diary as soon as possible.
Don't worry, I will. I'm fed up with the whole thing. I'll never keep a diary again.
Shh, someone's coming.
Norman, I'm returning your diary.
Oh, thank you.
I managed to rescue it from Mr. Thorpe's clutches. It fell open.
What?
I couldn't help reading it. I was shocked, Norman. What could have prompted you to write such things?
I'm sorry, Nurse Bradley.
Oh, I must admit, I had no idea you had so much perception. How did you know? Did I really give myself away so easily?
Tonight, Bee revealed her true feelings for the first time. She has obviously decided to burn her boats and surrender to my embrace.
I know I am, I'm sure I am, I make H-A-P-P-Y. Yes, I make H-A-P-P-Y. I make H-A-P-P-Y. I know I am, I'm sure I am, I make H-A-P-P-Y. Oh yes, I make H-A-P-P-Y. Yes, I make H-A-P-P-Y. I know I am, I'm sure I am. Yes, I make H-A-P-P, only when I lie. H-A-P-P-Y.